What's up, guys? Today I want to talk to you guys about the latest camera rumors. There is a ton of speculation going around right now about Canon and Sony products. We've got Photokina coming up next week, which usually there's a lot of rumors and expected announcements, so there's a lot of information going on out there. I do want to apologize about the audio quality. I know I'm going to probably get some comments about it. Unfortunately, my Rode video mic is having some problems, so I will get that taken care of here the next week, but I apologize if the audio isn't the best in this video. So let's jump right into it. One of the big things right now is there's a lot of speculation about the Canon 6D Mark II going around. Now, there was some information posted online this last week, and nobody's really sure if the information is credible, but it has generated a lot of discussion. I've had to write all of this stuff down because there is so much information this week, but what the rumored information right now is that it's going to have 24 megapixels. It's going to have 1.5 stops better ISO performance, which that is a lot of improvement in the ISO, and if I'm not mistaken, that would actually make the 6D have about a half a stop better performance than the current 1DX. It's supposed to have focusing up to -5 EV with the center point autofocus, so that would be a real big improvement. Supposedly Canon's testing 2 different autofocus systems out. They haven't decided which one they're going to go with. The camera is also expected to have Wi-Fi, NFC, and GPS, wireless battery charging, and it will have a touch swivel LCD screen. So if this information is all true, it would be a very big step up, which is kind of what was speculated a few months ago. The rumor was that Canon was really going to upgrade the 6D, and it wouldn't really necessarily be the entry-level bare-bones full-frame camera that we saw with the Mark I version, that it was going to see a significant price jump, and it was just going to be a step below the 5D Mark IV, which is, you know, supposed to come out sometime in the next year. So it does kind of make sense if it would have some of these updates, but the question is how much of this is actually true. One of the things that has generated a lot of chatter online is that the person who posted this information also said that the camera is going to have an Android-based operating system in it instead of the current, I believe it's pronounced DROS, D-R-Y-O-S. Now, I don't know anything about this. The software part of it is beyond my understanding. There's some people who say that it would be good online. There's people who say that this is completely bogus rumor, that they wouldn't switch to this. There's some issues that maybe this other software will eat up a lot of battery power. I don't know anything about it. I'm not going to speculate on it because it is something that I don't fully understand. So take it for what it's worth. Nothing really new on the 5D Mark IV or the 1DX. There is no real rumored release date for the Canon 6D Mark II. Personally, I think that they would announce it after the 1DX Mark II and the 5D Mark IV are announced. So I would expect it to be like next summer or next fall that the 6D Mark II would actually come out. But there is a lot of speculation about it. So there's a lot of information coming out about Canon right now. Obviously, pretty much everybody I'm sure has heard about Canon's 250 megapixel sensor that they're talking about. You know, which I think is just kind of ridiculous. Supposedly this thing can read letters on a plane 11 miles away. Seriously, that was one of the things that was talked about, was that the resolution's so high that you could read letters on a plane from 11 miles, which is just absurd to have that kind of resolution. They're talking about some security applications and things like that. I don't know what the deal is with Canon and pushing all of this high resolution stuff. I kind of think that maybe they're making a big deal about megapixels because it sounds cool, but I don't know how realistic something like that really is. But there's been a lot of discussion about that this last week online. The other thing that has generated a little bit of discussion is that Canon's expected to announce some new Pixma Pro printers, and these printers, or at least one of them, is supposed to actually be a 17-inch printer, which I believe currently Canon's Pixma Pros all print at 13 inches. At least my Pixma Pros 100s that I have, they print at 13 inches, and I think even the Pixma Pro 1's also a 13-inch printer. So that would be a pretty big step up. It's also supposed to have some new ink technology. I know that the question that somebody else asked and that I have is how heavy would that printer be, because the current Pixma Pro line, Those printers are big and heavy, and if you add an extra 4 inches of printing capacity, it's going to make that thing even bigger and heavier. So nobody really knows, but that is expected to be announced here in the next couple of weeks. So there's also a lot of speculation going around about Canon releasing some updates to some lenses. One of the lenses that Canon is expected to announce an update here to in the next couple of weeks is the 85mm lens. Now, nobody knows if this is going to be a whole new lens or an update to the 85mm 1.2. Some people are speculating that it might actually be an 85mm 1.4 that would directly compete with the Sigma lens. The only information that's kind of come out about it is that it's expected to be smaller and lighter than the current 85f 1.2 because that thing is huge and it's heavy, and it's also supposed to have the blue spectrum refractive element that was recently released in the Canon 35mm lens, the F Mark II version that just came out about 2 weeks ago. So there's some speculation about that, and there's also some speculation that Canon might release an update to one of their 50mm lenses. The 50mm f1.2 recently had a price drop, and usually whenever you see a price drop on Canon products, that means they're getting ready to release something new. So there's some speculation that there might be an update coming to that. One of the other things that has generated a lot of discussion in the Canon world is that Canon recently applied for a new Wi-Fi patent. Now, for us Canon shooters, there's a little bit of frustration because we don't have the built-in Wi-Fi ability with most of their camera bodies. And it would be a nice feature to have, but Canon has said in the past that because of the way that their cameras are designed to be durable and weather sealed with the magnesium alloy and all that good stuff, that Wi-Fi is very inconsistent, and as a result they haven't put it in their camera bodies. But this new patent technology, I personally haven't read it, I've just read what other people have said about it. It is supposed to overcome those issues. So we might actually see the Wi-Fi technology be introduced into the 5D Mark IV and the 1DX Mark II. So on the Sony front, there is also a lot of information floating around online. At Photokina, Sony is expected to announce a 4K E-mount camcorder, which is generating a lot of excitement from people to actually have a camcorder instead of a DSLR that will shoot 4K. There's also rumors that Sony just might announce a new A6000 series camera. There is no specific information, at least that I could find online, about any information specifically about that camera. There's just some information on Sony Alpha rumors that it is a possibility that they might announce one on September 11th at Photokina. There's also some rumors floating around that as soon as October that Sony might announce the A7S II. Now, this is just a crazy schedule that Sony has right now, with just constantly updating their bodies and releasing new models that have, slightly different features. Some people love it, some people hate it. There's been a lot of people who have kind of criticized that you buy a Sony camera and 6 months later it's outdated because something new is out. I don't know which is better. I don't know if the Canon approach to taking 3 to 4 years to come out with a new camera body and having it be completely redesigned is the way to go, or Sony's approach that every 6 months they're going to come out with something that is just a little bit better or maybe a little bit different features than the previous model. But there is some rumors that that camera could be announced as soon as October. So also at Photokina, Sony is expected to announce 7 new lenses. Now, there's not a ton of information about these lenses in specifics, but what is rumored is that one lens will be a telephoto lens in the E-mount, one will be an E-mount portrait lens, a 24-70 lens, and then there's also supposed to be an 85mm and a 135mm A-mount lens that will be announced at Photokina at the end of this week. So, all of this makes sense because Sony had given that roadmap, I guess about a year ago now, where they said that they were going to come out with a bunch of new lenses, because that has been really the big complaint from a lot of people about wanting to switch to Sony, is that you have to buy an adapter and use Canon lenses because Sony just doesn't offer the lenses natively. And Sony said that they were going to fix that problem, and it does look like they are serious about it. And if they do follow through and announce 7 new lenses, that would be really good for all of the people that are shooting Sony. Things have still been pretty quiet on the Nikon front. I haven't heard or I haven't seen anything online that really seemed credible regarding Nikon and anything that might be coming out in the near future. So things are pretty quiet with Nikon. So that's pretty much it for photo rumors as of the second week of September. As I hear any new information, I will keep you guys posted. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.